Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for GoldMine 101, our regular series of GoldMine presentations. And this morning I'm going to focus on sales forecasting, the sales forecasting feature of GoldMine. Now, this presentation will be quite short, maybe quarter of an hour, 20 minutes in duration. So this is just an overview of this feature. It's not meant to be training. My company, Wizard Systems, offer many extensive training options that some of you may have taken advantage of in the past, and it's there available if you need them. Now, on the call today, we've got people using all sorts of different versions of GoldMine. I'll be showing you the latest version of GoldMine, but sales forecasting has always been in any release of GoldMine, so it's relevant to everyone. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, I'd encourage you to think of any questions as we go along there. Try and keep it to the topic on hand this morning, forecasting sales. So as you think of them, please type them into that question box in your meeting control panel that you might see in the top right corner of your screen, and I'll cover those at the end of the session. Also at the end, I'll give you an update on any latest GoldMine news for you, just to keep you in the picture. And this session is being recorded. After the presentation, you'll receive an email with a link to the recording, which you could, of course, look at again, share with your colleagues, and we may post it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started then. As I normally do, a quick mention about Wizard Systems for a few of you that haven't dealt with us before. We've been trading now for over a couple of decades, and we are one of the top suppliers of GoldMine worldwide. We are the biggest supplier of GoldMine in the UK and Europe. CRM is the only thing we do, and we've got lots of services available to you should you need them, to assist you with your GoldMine system as regards setting it up, customizing it to your requirements, integrating it with other applications, training you and your colleagues. We can train you at your premises, or you can come to our Bristol location, or we can do training online. And we've got a GoldMine support help desk as well, a friendly, responsive telephone help desk service. Okay, so let's now dive into sales forecasting in a little bit more detail. So here we are in GoldMine, and forecast sales really can be used in two ways. It manifests itself in two ways in GoldMine. It is a simple way if you want to track just basic information about potential sales revenue coming into your company, then the forecast sales feature would be ideal. And secondly, it is part of the more sophisticated opportunity management system. So if what your company sells or provides is a little bit more complex, has longer sales timescales, your sales process is more complex, then that's what the opportunity manager is ideal at tracking. And we do feature the opportunity manager, excuse me, on our other Tuesday presentation. So this morning I'm just going to concentrate on the simpler way of tracking sales, the forecast sales feature. So you can schedule and create new sales in a number of different ways. So for example, with a contact record in front of you, you could schedule a sale here, or from the schedule menu you could schedule a sale there, or it could be a little button on your GoldMine toolbar, of course. Quite simply, when you do that, up pops a dialog box just asking you now for the basic information about this sale. Our cursor is flashing in the product or reference of the sale, so this is a description of what is it that we're selling. Of course, you could have a drop-down list to ensure consistent entry of product descriptions, or you could type in something on the fly. We have the value of the sale. It is also possible to put in some units as well, but you could if you want to keep things nice and simple, just pop in an overall value there. And then the code is optional, but it's a 3-character code to categorize this sale. Now these codes appear in many places in GoldMine, typically in activities generally. And this allows you to really, when you come on to analyzing your sales or reporting on your sales or maybe prioritizing your sales, and the way you view all of your sales in the system, shortly I'll show you how you can see all of the sales on the go right now. This is a way of drilling down and categorizing what type of sale this is. So if you have different product groups in your company, this would be, or different types of products there, this would be an ideal way of doing that. So you pop in that little code there. Of course, we have ownership. Any CRM system, ownership is very important as regards who is doing this thing, who is responsible for this thing. So a drop-down list there of all of our GoldMine users. Now in sales forecasting, also quite commonly you would see or be prompted for a probability. What is the percentage likelihood? Of course, between 0 and 99 or 100, what is the likelihood of us getting this sale? And here we have in this drop-down list an indication of those percentage probabilities with a description next to them. So again, this ensures consistent use of GoldMine and that everyone interprets, for example, 50%, everyone interprets 50% in the same way, which is useful when we come on to sales forecasting analysis. And when we come on to analyze our sales, most sales forecast systems will then multiply the probability by the amount, multiply the amount by the probability to give you the potential sale, to give you a weighted value. So in this case, 50% chance of us getting this £560 figure. And then we have the sale date. When is the expected close date of this sale? So you can pop in your date from that calendar there. And a few other optional extras here. You could alarm this activity. Of course, you could type in some notes around this activity as well. You might schedule other calls to remind you to chase up this sale, but alarm would be a good way of certainly having that sort of visual indication there, an alert that you've got to call that contact about that sale. One other option you have is the recurring feature, which is available with all activities in GoldMine. So if in your company, if you've got a regular potential sale happening, so if you've got some kind of monthly revenue coming through, or this sale is likely to happen at this stage every year for the next 5 years, then these are examples of using the recurring feature to stipulate the frequency of this occurrence and the regularity of the occurrence, day of the week, week of the month, and so on. So that's the recurring feature there. Let's just select, let's say this is going to go for a couple of weeks here. So we put in the basic information about the sale, the code, the amount, the probability, the owner, and we click OK, and that then will schedule that sale or sales. I've selected that recurring feature over a couple of weeks, so we've got a couple of sales there. Now, how do you see all of your sales? Well, that's available to you again in a few areas, but the primary area is your activity list in GoldMine. So I've got the activity list displayed there already, but you can access it from your main navigation menu down the bottom left-hand corner here, and then select the forecast option area, and that will show you all of your forecast sales. As you can do with your activity list, then at the top of the screen you can drill down and filter those sales. If you're seeing rather lots of sales, you can obviously look at the sales of other users, not only yourself if you've got access rights to do that. But here we see initially in date sequence all of our forecast sales up and coming. Of course, from here we could click on these column headers to sort that list in some way, whichever way we want to. We could filter on all of these. So if I wanted to see all of my, if I was coding some of my sales as CON, I could then focus on all of my CON type sales, my contract sales in this example. It's a nice way of drilling down there. And you can also group and sort by this these column headers as well. So I could group, for example, by probability, and then I can see at a glance all of my 25%ers and so on. So that's a quick run through of the forecast sales feature in GoldMine. Let me just, as I normally do, now I offer out our presentation to any questions. So if you've got any questions on the forecast sales feature, please type those into the question control panel on your meeting dialog box there, and I'll be happy to answer those. The first question from Tina, we are a services company. Can it be used for that? Well, yes, of course it could. You could, of course, use the forecast sale code to denote different types of services that you've got, Tina. So that'd be an excellent use. It's not just purely for a product orientated company. It could be used for a service company. We have many clients who are in the service sector that don't actually sell a product, that are using forecast sales and particularly the opportunity manager to track a service or product, a project delivery. Next question from Rick. Can you do quotes from a forecast sale? You could do it the other way around, Rick. There is a popular add-on to GoldMine called QuoteWorks, a low-cost, easy-to-use add-on to GoldMine called QuoteWorks, which will allow you to create quotes that you can, sales quotes that you can send your customer. And when you create the quote in QuoteWorks, that will create the forecast sale for you automatically back in your GoldMine system. So that might be another way of doing that there. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. If there are any more late questions, I'll handle those via email. Just a bit more information on the GoldMine, any sort of GoldMine news that I can make you aware of. We've just recently released 2015.2 hotfix 2. Every month there's a new hotfix coming out for GoldMine. Excuse me, and this has some new fixes to the application, so stay tuned with that. We do notify people on our GoldMine blog of these hot fixes and major releases. So 2015.2 is the last major release. Then every month we get these little hot fixes. And if you go to our GoldMine blog, let me just see if I've got it here. There we go. There's our GoldMine blog, which has got a lot of useful hints and tips on GoldMine. But there we are. There's the latest information on hotfix 2. And as I say, we do pop up there lots of hints and tips. Recently, we posted some information on remote access options with GoldMine. Are typically a frequent question that we're often asked. What are the options for remote access to GoldMine? So there's information on our latest hotfix there. We've got a GoldMine introduction training course where we do cover the forecast sale feature in a lot more detail. That's coming up on the 26th of January at our Bristol location, and we have a few spare places for that. So please contact any of us here at Wizard Systems if you're interested in attending that. Our next session will be in 2 weeks' time. So if you've got any suggestions for future topics, please email those to me, Tim Wilmot, tim@wizard-systems.com. And I'd be more than happy in looking at those and fielding those for future presentations. But thanks very much for your time. If there are any late questions coming through, I'll handle those via email. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.